Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel for the next episode in the My Team series. Today is a very special one. We have FPL royalty on the channel. Ben Crellin is with us, and today he's going to be revealing his current draft for the upcoming season. Now, if you guys don't know who Ben Crellin is and you've been playing FPL for a while, where have you been? This man has over 300,000 followers on X. He is the fixtures guru, but more importantly than that, I think he is an unbelievable FPL player. He is the #1 all-time ranked FPL player. So if you take everyone's ranks from every season ever and sort of aggregate them into an overall rank, Ben is top of anyone in the world. And that's probably because in the last 6 seasons, he's come in the top 10K every single year. A truly phenomenal FPL player. Ben, it's a privilege to have you on the channel. How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good, thanks. Just getting a bit hot here with the heat wave arriving, but excited for the start of fantasy football, and I think I'm ready for it now after not really caring about it much in the run up to it. But now this is the big week of making decisions.
Well, I've been asking you, have you got a team ready? Can we do a little video? Because I know the people are really keen to see what you're thinking, and you've sort of said, well, I've not given it too much thought, but now it is the crunch time. We're only a few days out from deadline, so it's great to have you on. As always, we're going to be building this on Fantasy Football Hub's My Team tool, which is going to give Ben a team rating out of 100 over here on the top left, so we can sort of judge how good his team is based against the data, Fantasy Football Hub's algorithm, the AI, and all the other guests that we've had on the channel before, and all of you guys as well. If you want to compare your team to Ben's, the link to do so is down below in the description. It's completely free and it takes 2 seconds. Right, Ben, let's get into it. Who have you got in goal?
Okay, well, I can say the most nailed goalkeeper of the two is Dubravka, just because he's 4.0. He's not going to be my starting goalkeeper most weeks, but he's there. And then for the first one, it's a choice between 2 5.0s, but I'm going with Sanchez. Looking at the fixtures, you'd be happy playing him every week, really, apart from maybe game week 7 against Liverpool, but he's avoiding a lot of the difficult teams early on, and they're a good defence. Well, they were last year, and they're clicking into gear with their defensive formations and the midfield players protecting the defence, and feel good. His price is very decent.
I suppose the conundrum there is between him and Sells. How close is that decision?
Oh, well, for me, it was between him and Vicario.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I've got that wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Just for the fixtures, I don't know. I think Tottenham will be a better team than Forest this year, but I haven't actually considered Sells. Forest could struggle this year with Europe. Maybe they're a bit of a flash in the pan.
Okay, interesting. Let's move into the defence then. Who have you got?
Most nailed player, probably Pedro Porro, 5.5, but I suppose attacking returns, one difficult fixture in game week 2, but apart from that, looks really good. Maddison's injury, I think Porro did better, which was like a really good option last year when Maddison was out, and I enjoyed owning him last year. So he seems pretty nailed in my team at the minute.
Chatting to a couple of other Tottenham fans, the founder of Fantasy Football Hub, Will, and Fergie as well, and they're very hot on Porro. So yeah, he's one that I think I need to consider in my team a little bit more. Who have you got next to him?
Another Tottenham player.
Really? Wow.
Romero, but he's maybe not so nailed at the minute. Like he could shift around other players, but in the current setup that I've got with the price points that I've got, I think Romero is the best 5.0. with the fixtures.
Okay, double Tottenham defence. I mean, we were not saying this last year. You must think that there's going to be an upturn under Thomas Frank then.
Well, Frank seemed like a better manager than Postecoglou, and they've spent some money on like to bolster their squad. It'll be painful having two Tottenham defenders most weeks, but yeah, Burnley to start with, then you benched them for game week 2 against Man City, and then you just start the whole of the rest of the time. Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, Wolves, Leeds, Villa, Everton. It just keeps going till
Wow.
game week 9.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning, if people don't know, you're a Newcastle fan. So we'll see if there are any Newcastle players in your team. You don't obviously play with bias. You are far too good at the game for that. But I doubt there will be, but you never know. Okay, let's move on to the next defender.
Another 5.5, Murillo. So I do have a Forest player. I forgot about him. He seems so good with the defensive points as well. The added like 2 bonus points you can get. Was it Milinkovic got the goals last year, but Murillo is going to be more consistent. I think he's still a goal threat, and he's better at the actual defending with the tackles and the interceptions. and their fixtures. Yeah, I'm not going to go with Sells and Murillo. I'm not confident in Forest enough to have two of them, but Murillo seems like a really good option at 5.5.
Based on what you were saying before, I was thinking that perhaps you weren't going to go with any Forest coverage, and I thought that would be, I don't know, just given the fixtures and how good they were last season. I thought that would be aggressive. To be fair, I think there will be quite a lot of people on at least one sort of Forest defender. That decision between the three of them is challenging. Maybe Aina as well, but probably not. Yeah, how much do you think DEFCON points are going to be really important compared to those, or how we've usually or tended to judge defenders in the past? Obviously, as you said, Milenkovic was great from an attacking point of view last year.
Well, they add things to certain players. They add an extra bonus. I don't know. We'll see as the season goes on, but people have worked out the data on it, and you can be adding, what is it, like 30, 40 points a season, and for the best players, and just gives you, it just means that when you get a clean sheet wipeout from an emotional point of view, you still got something to hope for, with instead of you just being guaranteed a 2-pointer, you've got extra incentive to keep watching and counting the tackles. But yeah, some of these players will benefit a lot, I think.
That's a very good point. Okay, Ben. So a strong 3 defenders. Don't give away your formation just yet. I presume you'll be going with 3 at the back. But who is your 4th?
I've gone with Anderson from Fulham. I think he's the best of the 4.5 defenders, given the fixtures early on. He's got some good defensive, like CBIT numbers, I think, last season as well.
Yeah, I can't really. He's in my team. I think he's very strong. Do you expect to play him that much, or is he? I suppose in game week 2, maybe you'll be looking at playing him over Romero. We'll see who your 5th defender is in a second. But are you hopeful with a solid bench option like that you don't have to play him, or are you happy to play him in quite a few of the weeks?
Looking at the fixtures, there'll be weeks when I don't want to have to play him, like Chelsea away in game week 3. But I would play him in game week 2 because of my 2 Tottenham players having to bench them from 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got good fixtures, and I'd be fine having to start him. I haven't worked out my bench in all those weeks, but if I picked up an injury, I'd be happy to start Anderson.
Okay, sure. Let's get into the final defender.
I think this is pretty template. I've gone with Estev.
Yeah, I think he's the best out of the 4 millions. Let's move on. Right, let's get into the fun ones here. Let's see how template you've gone, Ben, because I want to ask you after we do your midfield, just about your views on the template in general. So let's just start with your midfield first.
Okay, well, Salah, obviously. I don't need to say any more about Salah. Like, some people are going against him. I watched the Community Shield, but Salah had performances like that last year, and he did so well last year. He got like one of his best seasons ever. I think his best season ever, and I'm not worried about him. His fixtures are good early. It's the best captaincy option in game week 1. I don't see a reason to go without Salah. You can get a strong team with Salah and a few other expensive players, and still there's good value everywhere else.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen people in the community saying, well, look, if you remove Salah, look at this unbelievable midfield you can have. But actually, I think because we have quite a few gems like Dubravka, like Estev, quite a lot of really solid 4.5 million options in defence, and perhaps a cheap forward as well. As you said, I think you can build a very strong team with having one of those 2 premium players in there. And I agree with you. Salah's done this pretty often, where he looks a little bit shaky in pre-season and then just absolutely explodes over the first few game weeks. So if anything, if that Community Shield sort of brings his ownership down a bit, it might be good for managers like us. Who's next to him?
Palmer. I think that's pretty template.
Yeah.
He was frustrating last year, but Chelsea's fixtures early on, Palmer can be a great FPL player. He got into a bit of bad form last year. I don't know if it was injury related, but he's had a rest now. Good value for money despite the price tag, and you can always have him one of these expensive players, midfielders to begin with, and then if they perform badly, you can downgrade them and then let one of these new forwards come, like Isaac might move, or Etikite might become an option, or Goalkeepers, and then you can use the funds later on. But starting with the reliable midfielders to begin with seems like a good option.
Okay, and who is your next midfielder?
Bruno Fernandes.
That is Mr. Reliable right there.
And he's even more reliable now with the CBIT points for midfielders as well. No reason to go against him.
He's one of those that, like, I don't know. I find him, well, I've loved him in the past, but I don't know. I haven't been a fan the last couple of seasons. I know sites like Fantasy Football Hub are very, very hot on him and predicted points most years. Is that just because you think he has so many routes to points? He plays so many minutes. He's so consistent.
Yeah, he's really consistent, and Man United's attack should be even better this year with their additions. And he's the focal point, even though he's maybe playing a bit more reserved in a defensive midfield position to start. He'll still get shots off and take corners and take penalties, and I think he's like a really good option.
Yeah, predicted to score the fourth most points out of any midfielder over the first 4 game weeks. So Fantasy Football Hub likes him as much as you. Who is next?
I can see on the screen it's Verts and Marmoush are quite close there.
Yeah.
I've got a spot for an 8.5 player, and I'm going with Marmoush at the minute, but that could change.
Fun.
It just depends on the minutes. He was getting good minutes towards the end of last year. He was getting at least 80 most weeks. I don't know how he'll fit with the new signings Man City have made, but he can play anywhere across the front line. Seems like he can play behind the striker, he can play as a striker, he can play as a winger, and he performed really well in his first half season in the Premier League. So I do like the idea of going with Marmoush. I think Man City's fixtures are pretty good to begin with as well.
I believe that's the first time on this series, this FPL pre-season, that we have seen Marmoush in any team. So that's a very cool pick. But yeah, as you mentioned, last season, I think Haaland was injured, but he seemed like Man City's most nailed attacker. He was very, very often playing full games, or as you said, yeah, around that 80-minute mark. If that happens again, it's a great pick. Who's your final midfielder?
Going with Anderson, the 5.5, with the defensive points, with maybe some set pieces. He pops up with goals and assists occasionally as well. I think he's the best option at 5.5.
Apart from Marmoush, a relatively template midfield, although I have to give you credit, Marmoush being in there sort of, shakes things up a bit. But what are your thoughts overall on the FPL template? Do you see it as a positive or a negative thing? Do you really care about it? You know, in the comments, I get a lot of, well, not me really, but the guests we have on the channel sometimes get quite a lot of stick of being too template. But really, are other players not just template for a reason?
Yeah, I don't pay attention to it in the preseason. I'm aware of it when the season gets going, but you have times during the season when the template is strong, and then you get times when it really opens up and you can pick lots of different players. In Gameweek 1, I'm not really paying attention to ownership. I'm just picking who I think is best, and I don't care if people think that they're template or not.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's get into the forwards then.
Okay, so most expensive forward at the minute is Solanke, but it depends on his injury. He could always become Mateta in this setup with a 7.5 forward, but it's Solanke at the minute, starting with Burnley at home. If he's going to be the starting forward, then he seems like a great option. Like I've said with the Tottenham defenders, they've got good fixtures from Game Week 3 onwards. He's not nailed, obviously. It's just if Frank says that he's going to start, then I'll pick him.
I think you can see with his predicted points here, because he's got that flag now, his points are lower than they would be, of course, if he was nailed on to start. I would love to have him in as well. I think he'll be great, but can't go for him if he's not 100% nailed early in the season. Who's your next forward?
Okay, I'm going with Strand Larsen,
okay.
6.5. Benching him in the first week, but then after that, Bournemouth, Everton, Newcastle, Leeds, good fixtures. He should be the focal point in their team. He's got a decent price. Yeah, I could go with a cheaper person like Thiago instead, but I don't know. Strand Larsen is a proven striker in the Premier League, and fixtures are okay.
Do you worry at all about Wolves now that they've lost Cunha? They brought in John Arias, who had a really good Club World Cup, but it must be a weaker team. They've lost Aït-Nouri as well, of course.
Yeah, I'd worry about them if I was a Wolves fan. From an FPL manager's point of view, strikers don't need to be in like a great team to be good options. They can still get the goals. I've had strikers from relegation threatened teams in my team in the past. If the price is okay, then...
Great point, well said. And then let's round things off with your final player.
Okay, well, it's a 4.5 forward. That's how much I've got left. I haven't really decided on this. I've gone for Mark how do you pronounce his name? Gui?
I think it is actually Gooey,
Yeah.
which sounds ridiculous, but I think it actually is.
He's not. He's like a bit of an injury doubt. He's flagged, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I don't need him in game week 1. It depends on the bench boost. I don't think I'm going to be going for bench boost game week 2 or game week 1 at the minute. And I think Gui is the most likely to be a starter as we go into the season more. And so stashing him at 4.5 and then playing the bench boost when he does become the starter seems like the best option.
Okay. So that is the team. What I will do now is click optimize down here, which will put the players in that the Fantasy Football Hub think should be starting. Interestingly, Solanke is benched. You'd obviously play him if he was fit.
Well,
So
you could try putting Mateta in just because instead of Solanke, because that's maybe what I would do.
Yeah.
And then you've got Mateta going into the team with Anderson on the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that is the side if Solanke is a doubt. Let's have a look now at the team rating. Wow. 96%. That is, you've gone to the top of the leaderboard out of all the guests we've had on the channel so far. 96%, 67.5 predicted points for Game Week 1. I've not seen a higher team rating than that with those predicted points. So fair play.
Thanks. Yeah, I haven't really put much thought into it yet, but I'm happy. I'm happy with it at the minute. Like, just it's not too difficult. Just try and find the best value player at each price point. The 3 big midfielders pick themselves. Taking a punt on Marmoush is a bit punty, but yeah, it likes Mateta. Obviously, I'd get a much lower rating if I had my real team with the Solanke.
It's not that difficult, you say. The man who's come in the top 10k the last 6 seasons.
Well, that is difficult, and I've had a lot of luck to get in top 10k, and I don't think I'll be managing that this year. It's going to be even harder. It's going to be like more variance, I think, with all the chips.
Yeah, but wow, you've shot to the top of the leaderboard. Maybe I shouldn't have expected anything less from, as I said in the intro, the number 1 all-time FPL manager, but still very impressive stuff. I like this team a lot because it's very well balanced. It has the sort of safety that I think you need at the start of a season because you don't want to fall too far behind. But then it has a few fun picks in there. Like if you do go for Mateta, I think he's a great pick. He's only 7.3% owned right now. Marmoush as well, similar, very low owned, especially amongst, I think, really engaged managers. And then you have the sort of solidity around it. Really strong. So I'm not surprised it's done as well as it has done. Let's see, though, if we can improve it a little bit by looking at Fantasy Football Hub's AI recommended transfers before I ask you about general chip strategy. Okay, Ben, so on screen right now, you can see your AI recommended transfers. They're very, very interesting, to be fair. And I think this is because maybe your team is so good anyway that the AI is trying something different. Saka is coming in, Strand Larsen, Marmoush out, and another 4.5 million forward. But before we get your thoughts, you guys can, of course, get your own recommended transfers personalized to your team by signing up to Fantasy Football Hub. It's currently 50% off. If you don't win your mini league, you will get all your money refunded to you. If you want to win at FPL, you need to be using Fantasy Football Hub. It's as simple as that. The link to sign up and get your own personalized recommended transfers every single game week, by the way, not just before the season starts, is down below in the description and the pinned comment. Ben, what are you thinking?
It's going for 2 4.5 forwards, one of them who won't start. All that money put into Saka. That's interesting. It makes it harder to bench boost, but yeah, I mean, having Saka for game week 2 would be amazing, but that's a lot of money invested in the midfield.
That seems very aggressive to me. I don't think that gives you enough bench coverage. I don't know how you feel about benches early in the season, but yeah, I think if something went wrong in your team, I mean, I'm sure this would give you more points for like game week 1 and especially like game week 2 fixture, as you said, Saka at home to Leeds, arguably the best captain option that week as well. Who knows? But it's very aggressive. Would you ever do something as aggressive as this? In
this season, when we've got an early bench boost to play, I don't want to be starting with 2 4.5s as forwards. I need some secure starts, and I've already got one player who is a bit iffy with GUI, and yeah, I don't want to have to make lots of transfers to get a bench boost team. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Ben, let's round this video off by getting your general thoughts on chip strategy. You said earlier on
you sort of thought that when the opportunity presented itself, a bench boost, you would go for it. I'm just looking at your game week 2 side now, which a lot of people have marked as a potential bench boost week. It doesn't really work for you because of those Tottenham defenders.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Tottenham are worth stacking, I think, with their fixtures.
Okay.
But having two Burnley players means I'm likely to bench boost when Burnley have a good fixture and the rest of my team have good fixtures. And so I'll probably just be waiting. When do Burnley next have a good fixture? It could be game week 5.
Well, yeah, I've just gone to game week 5 on screen. Looks okay to bench boost.
And it'll depend on how I can save my transfers.
Yeah.
You'll have 5 transfers available in game week 5 or game week 8, and I can make use like 2 or 3 of them to get a bench boost team, then I'd do that.
And your thoughts on the other chips? Obviously, we have twice as many chips this year.
Okay, I like the idea of wild carding when there's a bit of a fixture swing. Isn't it like around game week 13-ish, game week 12, 13? You've got Man City. It's the Man City-Liverpool game in game week 11, and then Man City away to Newcastle in 12, and then the fixtures get very good for Man City in game week 13. So you can wildcard to a Haaland team.
Okay.
I don't know. I just want to get some data on all the teams to see who the really good teams are. Maybe the surprise packages, the teams who are worse than expected, and then get an idea of, maybe have a week where there's lots of players who are the best options who aren't in my team and I can't get to them with free transfers, then I'll just free hit then. But I haven't actually got a week in mind at the minute with free hit.
Very nice stuff. You're not the first experienced guest that we've had on the channel to actually sort of calm me down a little bit and say, well, I don't have to have a set plan for when I'm going to use each and every chip. I've been looking at sort of a game week 2 bench boost more so to sort of get it out of the way. But yeah, there may well be a better opportunity later down the line, especially maybe with those 5 extra transfers around the AFCON period. Who knows? That may present an opportunity. But yeah, you make a great point on wildcard. That 13 game week 13 does look a good sort of swingy week for fixtures. If you guys want to look at this fixture ticket, by the way, then you can do so, and you can set your own game week range here up at the top to have a look at maybe the best time to wildcard for your team in the future. Link down below, as I said. Ben, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time. A very strong team. I'm not surprised, but yeah, you've shot straight to the top of the leaderboard. Crazy. Guys, if you think you can beat Ben's team, if you think your team is stronger, get in the comments down below and let me know how your team has rated on Fantasy Football Hub's My Team tool. But Ben, thank you very much for this as always. Final question. You are obviously the fixture guru, and I've been using your planner on Fantasy Football Hub for years. What are you thinking this year with the fixtures? Is it going to be similar to normal? Are we going to get the same sort of doubles and blanks?
Well, it's the new normal. With the last season was the first one when they restructured it. The FA Cup quarterfinals no longer cause the blank game week.
Of course.
We struggled to work out how the fixtures would be moved last year because it was the first year in the new schedule. So we have an idea of what it's going to be like this season. We might get like a little mini double game week around the Champions League early knockout rounds, like 27, 29. That could be a triple captain time. Then we'll get the big double game week in game week 33, which would be the second bench boost, probably. But there's very unlikely to be double game weeks in the first half of the season.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you very much, Ben. As always, if you want to keep up to date with Ben, his team, his final team reveal as well will be posted on Fantasy Football Hub. But follow him on Twitter, on X. It's been on screen the entire video. He's already got over 300,000 followers. I presume you'll follow him on there. But yeah, if you're not doing so, go and do that. Thanks, Ben. And thanks to all of you guys for watching as well.
Thanks for having me.